Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. I'm Ash, aka Brom18, and this is episode 2 of our realistic Borussia Dortmund career mode here on FIFA 22. So welcome along then if you're new to the channel. First things first, if you haven't seen it, go and check out episode 1 first, as we'll really be able to set the scene and show you what we're doing throughout the entire career mode and show you a little bit about it as well. So make sure to go and have a look at that one if you haven't done so already. But on that note, if you have done so and you are caught up, then let's get into it. So what do I have in store for you today? Well, first things first, we have this Super Cup game against Bayern Munich. So it is a massive game. Really want to see where we're at the start of the season, what we're doing in terms of tactics as well. On top of that, if we have a quick look at the calendar here, you'll see that we have a range of different games in the league. We've got Frankfurt, Freiburg, we've got Hoffenheim, and then we go into Leverkusen as well, and then the Champions League is also upon us. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a live com of this first game against Bayern Munich, and then we're going to have post-commentary highlights of quite a few of these league games and probably that Champions League one as well. So there's going to be a lot to get through, and I'm really excited to see how it is going. Before we begin the game though, one thing I need to quickly speak about, which I actually forgot to in the first episode, and I can't believe it sort of drifted my mind, and that is, where on earth is Yusufa Moukoko? I mean, the guy is, well, he's just not there. He's just missing. You know, we spoke about how we might be selling Haaland later on in the series at some point. You know, when I came to do this series, I always thought Moukoko would be sort of the replacement. We wouldn't need to go out and sign another player because, you know, Moukoko would be the guy, but he's not even there. And so I had to go back and make sure that I did download the latest updates for the squad. Turns out I did. I checked in the squads outside of career mode, just in base FIFA, and he wasn't on there either. I had a look on FootWiz, found that he wasn't on Ultimate Team. He wasn't in career mode on their database list either, so he's just not in the game. And I'm thinking, why? Why is he not in the game? The reason I'm imagining is that he's still on a youth contract and somehow still hasn't signed a professional deal. And I'm imagining, I expect that will be the reason. But for me, that just baffles me how that can be a thing. Unless there's legislation and law in place to say that you can't have that player until he signs a professional deal. I don't understand that, because he's played for Dortmund, he's scored for Dortmund, he's made quite a few first team appearances already in the league in various competitions. How can he not be in this game? So that has really just disappointed me, to be honest. A bit frustrating. Really was excited to play with him, to see what he could do, to grow him, to utilise him as the replacement for Haaland and play him alongside Haaland as well. But we're not going to get that opportunity, unfortunately, so that's really disappointing, and eventually we'll probably have to go out and find someone else. So overall, not great. But moving on to the lineup for today's game, this is what we've gone with. It's the 3-5-2 that we spoke about in the last episode. Gives us a little bit of counter-attacking emphasis with Haaland and Malen up front as well. They can utilise their pace to get into those spaces. Now, this is going to be a really tough game, and I'm not going to lie to you, I got a feeling we might lose. Because we're just not ready. We're just trying to get into grips with it. Also, I didn't play any pre-season games. I actually skipped the pre-season and didn't have one, declined all the invitations. So this will be the first game that I have played with this team in this save. So it's going to be a tough one, and I think it's going to show that there's a little bit of growing pains as we try and get to grip. But overall, very excited, and let's see what we've got. See that the game is, of course, being played at the Signal Iduna Park. They've got a nice tifo of Marco Reus, which is a really nice touch. Want to have a look at what the Bayern Munich lineup actually is. You know, we'll get to that very shortly. So let's have a look at it here then, because I've seen something very strange in the build-up, and that's what it was. It's actually just come up. They've actually got Sabitzer at left back, and then Alphonso Davies at centre back, which is very strange to me. Sörlot's on the bench, as is Pavard. Your guess is as good as mine. That's extremely strange. But nevertheless, We'll go with it. Hopefully we can try and exploit them down that side, although it is Meunier down that side. So that's going to be very tough in itself, but we'll see how that one goes. So Bayern Munich to get us underway then. Let's see how this one plays out. Good start. You'll have to excuse me, guys. I've had to just change my setup mid-video because it was just really weird. So if you notice any difference with the camera angles, that'll be why. Haaland. Looking for that run of Marlon, and he's got him as well. He'll go for goal. Oh, I've chipped it accidentally. That was my fault. A little bit of a panic job there because that was a good opportunity. Oh, we've got to close the angle there. Oh, he's looking in for Lewandowski. That's trouble. That's trouble as well. And there it is. It's Thomas Müller with the goal early on. 15 minutes in the end. And Bayern Munich go 1-0 up. Find space on the edge of the area. Not the best of marking. It's Lewandowski who's the original sort of threat there. But he lays it off to Müller. And then in the end, have a look at it. I think it's a Kanye actually. Tries to block it but doesn't get there. Probably should do a bit better really. And it's 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Didn't take long, did it? Thomas Meunier. Looking to go down the side. Finds Royce. Can he cut it back? He does so as well. Ball falls to Haaland. Good save from the keeper. And forces another corner. Guerrero. Going to switch it across the field to Meunier. It's a very good ball. And Haaland's making that run as well. He's isolated Davis. Just too hard is the pass from Meunier. Oh, keeper rolls it out, and Malin, he's there to pounce. Oh, it's saved. Can he get the rebound? No, it's blocked. What a chance that was for Donyell Malin. And how he hasn't scored, I will never, ever know. What a poor finish that was. So disappointing because he was in the right position to get that ball. But it just doesn't pay off for him. Got to deal with that, and does. Witsel. Over to Haaland, but the ref is probably going to blow it for half-time. He does. And in the end, we have actually been the better team coming into half-time. You know, we conceded the goal and just settled it down. And we've created one or two chances. But we just can't seem to show that little bit of quality in the end, in the final third. Not sure how they've had more possession shots, to be honest. It does play a part of the fact that they get it to the corner flag and then just doss about with it, as is always the case. In terms of the tactics, I'm going to keep it as it is for now. You know, otherwise potentially considering going a little bit more active. We'll see how it goes because I think we were better towards the end of the half. But at the moment, I'm going to keep it as it is. Just cross the ball in. What are you doing? Stop messing about with it. There we go. Blimey. Bellingham. Over to Haaland. Looks to quickly lay it off to Witsel here. And this is a chance to really counter on them. Donyell Malin, although he's in a foot race with Alphonso Davies there, but Davies didn't want to give away the foul. Malin's in. Malin equalises for Dortmund. 1-1. We hit them on the counter-attack, and it is deadly. What a way to get back into the game and equalise. Malin, after he missed that chance in the first half that he should have put away, this time makes amends. And it's just quick, incisive counter-attacking. 2 or 3 passes to break down Bayern. I had a feeling Alphonso Davies may catch up to Malin, but because of the positioning that Malin was in, he didn't want to give the foul away. He actually would have had to trip him up in order to catch up to him there. And he didn't want to do it. And as a result, it's 1-1 back into the game. Oh, that is a good ball to Kingsley Coman. There's an opportunity here. He goes for a goal and somehow it sneaks in. That's a really good finish. Keeper will be disappointed with it though. Kingsley Coman on his left foot produces a fantastic strike into the top left corner. He gets a ball over the top in the end from Lewandowski, and Akanji just can't get out to him in time. And we'll have another look at the finish here because that's quite a tight angle to fit that in. Keeper, again, it's a good finish, don't get me wrong. I still think he should do it a little bit better because it is at his near post. But that's a really good goal from Bayern yet again. And as again, we have to try and come from behind. Well won, that is from Manuel Akanji. And we've got an opportunity now. Witsel needs that run from Bellingham. He's got him as well. Bellingham will look to go for goal. That was an opportunity. It's blocked. That really was a good opportunity. Oh, and that's full time in the end. Only 1 minute of stoppage time. Really surprised about that. And that means Bayern Munich are Super Cup winners. Disappointing in the end to lose that game. We did have a couple of opportunities. They just had a bit better class and quality in the end. I don't think there's a whole lot more that we could really say about that. As we watch Bayern Munich lift the trophy here. Ultimately, I didn't expect us to win this game. I thought it was going to be a very tough, ask for us to do. And that's what happens, really, isn't it? With that extra sort of quality. So in the end, we got a lot to work on. We do need a little bit of help, but unfortunately, won't be able to make any signings for a little while yet. We'll just go on, try and develop the players. I'm not too despondent about that because in the end, there's a long way to go. There's a lot of improvement to be doing as we try and adapt to this team and this setup. So with that game now over and done with, what we're really going to do is we're going to play quite a few games now, mostly in the league. We can go right up until probably this Union Berlin game. Might play that one as well. Might even play the Mönchengladbach game, to be honest. And then we're really going to, really shoot through them. A lot of quick fire highlights. I'll show you what we're sort of the progress and also the league table, etc. All of that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play all these games and then we'll reconvene and I'll let you know what has happened. So welcome back, everyone. We have now played quite a few games and I've been so long recording those games that it's actually night time now, different time of day. We've got a lot of games in, a lot has happened. So first off, let me show you the highlights of all the games that we have just played. So it's worth bearing in mind that these first few games were crazy. Absolutely crazy. Just so many goals going in. Terrible defending from me. But please do stick with it, as what happened is we did mess about with the sliders to try and make it more realistic. And we also changed the defending to legacy as well. And it did end up getting better. But to start off with, it was a crazy few games. We started off with the game against Frankfurt. And it was going very well. This nicely executed volley from Jude Bellingham, followed by another goal from one Jude Bellingham, getting a brace on his first start of the league season, was very, very good. We followed that off with Daniel Marlon then getting onto the score sheet as well. In the first half, we were absolutely running riot. Haaland ends up feeding him in, and one-on-one, he isn't going to miss this one, unlike the one he did against Bayern Munich in the Super Cup. He then got himself onto the score sheet again, as he put in this very nicely worked cross from Meunier on the right-hand side. But it all went downhill from there. We eventually did an Arsenal against a Newcastle. Yep, you might remember the game. And it went downhill from there. Thankfully, I didn't record the live reaction because, as you can imagine, I was going absolutely crazy. They start off with one in the first half, and in the second half it just completely capitulates. One goal after another. Terrible defending from me. I look back on it now and I realise how awful my defending was, and it wasn't until I switched it to legacy that we did get a little bit better at it. Manuel Akanji here comes in late and they get a penalty for it, which of course is an absolute catastrophe as it goes in. It hits the post, bounces off my keeper, and then eventually goes into the net. And then finally, in stoppage time, 91st, 92nd minute, this happens. So, as you can imagine, I wasn't too pleased, particularly with all the celebrations that I saw on the page as well, as you're looking at here, and I was pretty livid with it. But thankfully, I was able to calm it down and just get back to recording, which we did get into in the next match, and it didn't actually get much better. As you see, the full-time result here ending up 4-4 overall. This was the lineup, and as you can see, there was a couple of changes. We brought in Schultz and Chan just in the hope that maybe it would give us a little bit more solidity after that absolute catastrophe of defending in the last game. And it started off very well. Haaland finally get himself onto the score sheet and opening his campaign for the season with a lovely header after a really nice cross from Meunier on the right hand side as he runs off in celebration. But then our joy was short-lived. Less than 5 minutes later, Freiburg eventually equalise with a really nice finish. However, I couldn't admire the finish that much because when I looked at the replay and saw him strike the ball like this, all of a sudden I started to think, what the hell is that? How has the ball travelled in that direction? In the end, though, that was all we could muster, and that was the full-time result. So it was a shaky start to the season. 2 draws, 2 performances that weren't very good. However, we started to pick up the pieces from then on. We then went into this next game against Hoffenheim, and this is the lineup. We reverted back to the one predominantly that was against Bayern Munich, although we did put Wolf in for Meunier as he was a little bit tired, and it ended up being a much better experience. Daniel Marlon in the end getting onto the score sheet once again with a really nice volley, although not the most realistic. I apologise, I'm trying my best, but sometimes you're just fighting against the gameplay. We then followed that up after Hummels produced a fantastic pass for Guerrero, who whipped it in, and Erling Braut Haaland got himself onto the score sheet, as he so often does, with a really nicely worked header. We then followed that up in the first half yet again, and it was Haaland once again. Some nice work from Guerrero down the right hand side. He whips it in, and Haaland produces an absolutely stunning volley to silence the away fans. And he wasn't done there either. A lovely ping over to Thorgan Hazard on the right hand side. You see players storming forward, including Haaland. He finds some space. Markers lose him, and eventually he is there to tap it home. Keeper is unable to stop that one, which meant that eventually it was a 4-0 win. So I was very pleased in the end, not only to have scored 4 goals and get the win, but most importantly for the clean sheet, after the defending was a little bit dodgy, to say the least, in recent games. We were really starting to build up the momentum, and it went on from there. So this is how the table was looking after those first 3 games, and I appreciate it doesn't look good, but I always state that in the end, the table at the start of the season really doesn't matter. I very rarely look at it, I only do it to show you guys. And so it's important that we just try and pick up as many points as we could on the board. Next up, we had a very tough game against Leverkusen, and these were the 2 lineups going into the game. Axel Witsel returning to the side. And it started off very well. Meunier putting through Haaland to run in with that absolute monster of a run down the right hand side. He looks to lay it off, and it ends up being a bit of a messy goal. Marlon's shot is saved, it's parried upwards, and he's able to get in on the rebound. But thankfully, it does eventually go in. And that was the entire game. Thankfully, a 1-0 win for us. And I have to say, I really did get off on this one, because to win 1-0 after those poor defensive performances was just really good, really pleasing. Was able to just settle it down, and it was good going into the Champions League game as we got it off underway against Sporting Lisbon. These were the 2 lineups. A couple of changes, as you can see, in particular a formation change. We switched to the 3-4-3 instead of the 3-4-1-2, and Giovanni Reina got his first start of the season, as well as Schultz coming into the lineup as well. It started off very well. Erling Haaland once again getting in behind with that absolute deadly pace. It is just an absolute weapon on this game. He goes through one-on-one, and he isn't going to miss that, is he? Let's face it, he scores them with his eyes shut, and that makes him get his Champions League campaign off and running in terms of his goal scoring. However, it was short-lived. A really poor touch from Axel Witsel in this moment, when we could have done with him just not doing that, leads to a Sporting Lisbon goal. It's a really nice finish in the end. Not a whole lot I could say about that. Perhaps we could have closed him down a little bit better, but overall it was a nice finish. Unfortunately, it was the bad first touch from Axel Witsel that ended up giving them that opportunity. And that was the game in its entirety. A 1-1 draw in the end. A little bit frustrating, but not the end of the world. We do still have 5 games in that group, and it is certainly a group that we feel like we can win. So that took us into the final game against Union Berlin. As you can see, a few changes. Reina retained his place, and also a start for Namdi Collins as well. As you can see, taking this game a little bit more lightly, perhaps a little bit complacent, but thankfully we were reinforced with our thinking. Giovanni Reina getting his first goal of the season, and what a strike it was as well, onto his left foot, powering it past the keeper on the left hand side, and getting his scoring underway for the season with a really nice finish. And it was our young guns who eventually stole the show as well, as Jude Bellingham popped up in the second half with another really nice finish, perhaps even better than the first one, as he curls it into the far corner and wheels away in celebration. Fair to say he's had a very good start to the season, now up to 3 goals already, which is very good from that central midfield position. And that was full time, 2-0 in the end, another good win, another clean sheet, which is the most important thing. And eventually it was a good run of results. And with that in mind, this is now how the table is looking much healthier after that slightly dodgy start, it has to be said. Having said that, the 4-4 draw against Frankfurt doesn't look quite so bad when you bear in mind they are actually top of the league, and that is the only game that they haven't actually won. Nevertheless, it was still a terrible capitulation. Of course, we have settled it down a little bit, and partly because of that is because I've started messing with sliders, as I've already alluded to in those highlights. You know, because ultimately the gameplay, it is a bit of a mess, let's face it. And I know some of you guys might feel like I'm just jumping on the bandwagon, bashing EA, blah blah blah. But it just is, you know, defending particularly is really where the main issue lies. So I'm really trying to mess about with that and work out how we can get it more realistic, how we can get it as a fairer sort of representation and reflection of real life. So that's something we are trying to do. We're gradually and in the process of working on. So you've seen a couple of games that have been lower scoring, but overall, in terms of the results, it's looking better. You know, obviously now 4th place. I don't put a lot of weight into the league table early on, but you know, just so you guys can see. In terms of the cup, let's have a look first. We did get drawn against Bochum. But that one is a little while away, I'd imagine. And then if we can have a look at the Champions League somewhere, if I can actually find it here. That is, of course, our group, Besiktas, Sporting Lisbon and Ajax. Every team drew in the first round, so it is all to play for as we go up against Ajax, I believe, in the next game. Yes, it is. So that'll be a good one, probably for the next episode. Other than that, though, I don't think there's a lot more to really go over. We got Reina thanking for the opportunities. Also worth bearing in mind that I am going to give more and more youngsters opportunities as we go through. Just want to get my feet settled, really adapt to the gameplay early doors, and then as we get through the season, progress, get more games and stuff, you'll start to see a bit more chances given to the younger players, such as Reina being one of them. And you know, a whole plethora of others as well. We've also got Guerrero now trained fully for right midfield, or left midfield I should say, so we are going to change him to that. Doing very well actually, so really looking forward to seeing how he develops and how he progresses as well. And yeah, in terms of the next episode, I think I am going to do a live comm of that game against Ajax, so that one should be good. We've also got a few other games as well. We've got Mönchengladbach, we've got Augsburg, we've got Mainz, we've got a few games in there. The problem is, obviously, I am playing the 10-hour trial currently, and already used about 6 hours of it, so I don't know how much time we're going to get to fit in all these games. It might cut off midway through, but I'm hoping to get pretty much most of the games that are in October done, as well as that Ajax and Mönchengladbach game as well. So we'll really see how that one goes in terms of the time restrictions, but definitely a live comm of Ajax and a few other games as well. So make sure to join me for episode 3. Other than that though, we're going to round it off there. Please do subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you get notifications every time I upload. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description to Aniba. Thank you for them for partnering with the channel as well as affiliate links to all of my equipment and gear, custom gaming PC, all the parts for that, all my equipment, capture card, consoles, microphone, all that good stuff, as well as the link to my Twitter as well. Give me a follow on that for more added content really. Check out any of my other videos such as recreating real tactics, that will be starting again soon, the career mode features talking about the best road to glory teams, career mode challenges, all that good stuff, and my AS Roma Master League series as Jose Mourinho as well on PES 21. That one is really good fun, so do go and check that one out if you are enjoying this save. On that note, we're going to finish it there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon.